that what kind of life Aston has used nahi, I mean spent in the darkness of everything. So all in all, Act One में we get to know the characters. We have definitely come to a point जहाँ हमें पता चल रहा है कि कौन किस तरह का है. Act Two में हमें पता चल रहा है कि डेविस जो है वो सेटल होना चाह रहा है, लेकिन वो बहुत इंटरोगेटिव है. हर चीज पे वो क्वेश्चन करता है, कंप्लेन करता है, एज कार्ड खेलता है, बार बार कहता है कि पीपल हैव ऑलवेज treated me like dirt and everything. Mick, on the other hand, is very cunning and he offers him a job of a caretaker, which does not come across as something that Davies want, but he's okay because he wants to stay there, he wants money, and he wants maximum benefit from these two brothers. तो यहाँ तक हमने बात कर ली है. Now what will happen is that we are going to read a dialogue from Aston where he talks about his past. Aston, and I quote, I used to go there quite a bit. He's talking about the cafe जहाँ से वो उसको लेकर आता है डेविस को. Oh yes, years ago now, but I stopped. I used to like that place, spent quite a bit time in there. That was before I went away, just before. I think that place had a lot to do with it. They were all a good bit older than me, but they always used to listen. I thought they understood what I said. I mean, I used to talk to them. I talked too much. That was my mistake. The same in the factory. Standing there or in the breaks, I used to talk about things. And these men, they used to listen. Whenever I had anything to say, it was all right. The trouble was, I used to have kind of hallucinations. They weren't hallucinations. I used to get the feeling I could see things very clearly. Everything was so clear. Everything used to get very quiet. Everything got very quiet. So you see the inconsistency in his dialogues and the ellipses, the fact that the ellipses have been used, we can definitely safely say that this is a very avant-garde kind of a play where the character is struggling, and it's a modern play because it's not eloquent. The dialogue is not eloquent enough, और वो बार बार कहीं पे अटक रहा है. It may But maybe I was wrong. Anyway, someone must have said something I didn't know anything about it, and some kind of lie must have got around. And this lie went round. I thought people started being funny. In fact, cafe, the factory, I couldn't understand it. Then one day they took me to a hospital right outside London. They got me there. I didn't want to go anyway. I tried to get out quite a few times, but it wasn't very easy. They asked me questions in there, got me in, and asked me all questions. Well, I told them when they wanted to know what my thoughts were. Then one day, this man, doctor, I suppose, the head one, he was quite a man of distinction, although I wasn't so sure about that. He called me in. He told me I had something. Um, he said they Okay, he said they had concluded their examination. That is what he said. And he showed me a pile of papers and he said, I've got something, some complaint. He just said that you see, you have got this thing. That is your complaint. And we have decided, he said, that in your interests, there is only one course we can take, he said, but I can't exactly remember how he put it. He said, we are going to do something to your brain, he said. If we don't, you will be in here for the rest of your life. But if we do, you stand a chance. You can go out, he said, and live like others. What do you want to do to my brain? I said to him. But he just repeated what he'd said. Well, I wasn't a fool. I knew I was a minor. I knew he couldn't do anything to me without getting permission. I knew he had to get permission from my mother. So I wrote to her and told her what they were trying to do, but she signed their form, you see, giving them permission. I know that because he showed me her signature when I brought it up. Well, that night I tried to escape. That night I spent 5 hours sawing at one of the bars on the window in this ward right throughout the dark. They used to shine a torch over the beds every half an hour, so I timed it just right. And then it was nearly done, and a man had a fit right next to me. And they caught me. Anyway, about a week later, they started to come around and do this thing to the brain. We were all supposed to have it done in this ward. And they came round and did it one at a time. One a night. I was one of the last, and I could see quite clearly what they did to the others. They used to come around with these, I don't know what they were. They looked like big pincers with wires. The wires were attached to a little machine. It was electric. They used to hold the man down, and the chief doctor, used to fit the pincers, something like earphones. He used to fit them on either side of the man's skull. There was a man holding the machine, you see, and he would turn it on, and the chief would just press these pincers on either side of the skull and keep them there. Then he would take them off, they would cover the man up, and they wouldn't touch him again until later on. Some used to put up a fight, but most of them didn't. They just lay there. Well, they were coming round to me, and the night they came, I got up and stood against the wall. They told me to get on the bed, and I knew they had to get me on the bed because if they did it while I was standing up, they might break my spine. So I stood up, um, and then one or two of them came for me. While I was younger then, I was much stronger than I am now. I was quite strong then. I laid one of them out, and I had another one round the throat. And then suddenly this chief, this these pincers on my skull, and I knew he wasn't supposed to do it while I was standing up. That is why anyway, he did it. So I did get out. I got out of the place, but I couldn't walk very well. I don't think my spine was damaged. That was perfectly all right. The trouble was my thoughts had become very slow. I couldn't think at all. I couldn't get my thoughts together. Oh, I couldn't never quite get it together. The trouble was I couldn't hear what people were saying. I couldn't look to the right or the left. I had to look straight in front of me because I turned my head round. I couldn't keep upright. And I had these headaches. I used to sit in my room. That was when I lived with my mother and my brother. He was younger than me, and I laid everything out in order in my room. All the things I knew were mine. I didn't die. But I didn't die. The thing is, I should have been dead. I should have died. Anyway, I feel much better now, but I don't talk to people now. I steer clear of places like that cafe. I never go into them now. I don't talk to anyone like that. I've often thought of going back and trying to find the man who did that to me, but I want to do something first. I want to build that shed out in the garden, and then we have curtains. So this entire dialogue, it is very heartfelt, and the character Aston is trying to make a connection with Davies, but we'll see in the next part of the act that Davies is not interested, and he doesn't want to do anything important or anything of importance with it. All he wants is his intentions to be fulfilled. So in this act, so यहाँ तक आपको आई होप बात समझ आ गई है कि uh, second act may we just get to know how Davies is ungrateful, and Aston wants to make a connection, so he shares what he has been through, and the reason he shares it, so that the quarrelsome nature of Davies, that Davies is always questioning Aston for being blockhead and this and that, कि वो छोड़ दे और वो समझ जाए, but he doesn't do so. So Act 3 starts 2 weeks later. Mick is lying on the floor, down left, his head resting on the rolled carpet, looking up the ceiling. Davies is sitting in the chair, holding his pipe. He's wearing this smoking jacket. It is afternoon, and then there is silence. Okay, bete, who would like to be Davies? Read करना है बस text को.
Ma'am, I'll be the Davis.
Okay, Abdul बन जाएंगे. And who would like to be Aston?
Ma'am, I will be
May
Austin.
I?
Okay, Amna will be Aston, and Abdullah will be Davies, and I will be Mick. Go ahead, Davies की line पढ़े.
I got a feeling he's done something to them cracks. See, there's been plenty of rain in the last week, but it ain't been dripping into the bucket. He must have tarred it over up there. There was someone walking about on the roof the other night. It must be him. But I got a feeling he started over on the roof up there. Ain't said a word to me about it. Don't say a word to me. He don't answer me when I talk to him. He don't give me no knife. He don't give me no knife to cut my bread. How can I cut a loaf of bread without no knife? It's an impossible.
You've got a knife. So you see, the entire dialogue that Davy said is full of complaints. वो बस complaints ही करता रहता है और इतनी important बात उसने share की है. He should have some sense or of respect or some sense of sympathy for him, but he doesn't care. All he wants is a knife, and Mick says, "You've got a knife.
What?
You've got a knife."
I got a knife. Sure, I got a knife. But how do you expect me to cut a loaf of bread with that? That's not a bread knife. It's nothing to do with cutting bread. I picked it up somewhere. I don't know where it's been. Do I? No. What I want.
I know what you want. Then there's a pause. Davies rises and goes to the gas stove.
What about this gas stove? He tells me it's not connected. How do you know? How do I know it's not connected? Here I am. I'm sleeping right with it. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm looking right into the oven, man. It's right next to my face. How do I know? I could be lying there in bed. It might blow up. It might do me harm. But he don't seem to take any notice of what I say to him. I told him the other day, see, I told him about them blacks coming up from next door and using the lavatory. I told him it was all dirty in there. All the banisters were dirty. They were blacks. All the lavatory was black. But what did he do? He he's supposed to be in charge of it here. He had nothing to say. He hadn't got a word to say. A couple of weeks ago, he sat there. He gave me a long chat about a couple of weeks ago, a long chat he gave me. Since then, he ain't said hardly a word. He went on talking there. I don't know what he was. He wasn't looking at me. He wasn't talking to me. He don't care about me. He was talking to himself. That's all he worries about. I mean, you come up to me, you ask my advice. He wouldn't never do a thing like that. I mean, we don't have any conversation, you see. You can't live in the same room with someone who don't have any conversations with you. I just can't get the hang of him. You and me, we could get this place going.
You see how Davies is changing places. He is okay to pair up with any of the brothers as far as उसका motive पूरा होता है तो he doesn't care. So he's backbiting about someone who has brought him, who has rescued him. And then Mick says, "Yes, you're quite right. Look what I could do with this place. I could turn this place into a penthouse. For instance, this room. This room you could have as the kitchen, right size, nice window, sun comes in. I would have I would have teal blue, copper, and perchement linen squares. I would have those colors re-echoed in the walls. I would offset the kitchen units with charcoal grey workshops, plenty of room for cupboards for the crockery. We would have a small wall cupboard, a large wall cupboard, a corner wall cupboard with revolving shelves. You wouldn't be short of cupboards. You could put the dining room across the landing sea, yes, Venetian blinds on the window, cork floors, cork tiles. You could have an off-white pile, linen rug, a table in a Forsmosia teak veneer, sideboard with matte black drawers, curved chair and cushioned seats, armchairs in oatmeal tweed, a beach frame settee with a woven seagrass seat, white-topped heat-resistant coffee table, white tiles surrounded. Yes. Then the bedroom. What is the bedroom? It is a retreat. It is a place to go for the rest and peace. So you want quite decoration, the lighting functional, the furniture, mahogany and rosewood, deep azure blue carpet, unglazed blue and white curtains, a bed spread with the pattern of small blue roses on a white ground, dressing table with a lift up top containing a plastic tray, table lamp table lamp of white raffia mix sets up, it wouldn't be a flat, it would be a palace. So this very well crafted, decorative, full of adjectives and adverbs जो हमारे पास ये dialogue है, it tells us about that how beautifully Mick wants to arrange this place and Mick understands how he can make the most of this place. However, he doesn't do anything about it because perhaps we'll get to know later on. Then Davy says,
I would say it would, man.
a palace.
Who would live there?
I would, my brother and me.
What about me?
Now look at Davies. He's just a stranger who has been given a pass to live here as long as he needs to, buckle up and come up with his own plan to survive. But he's like, I'm part of it, and what about me? Mick says quietly, all this junk here, it's no good to anyone. It is just a lot of old iron, that's all. Clobber, you couldn't make a home out of this. There's no way you could arrange it. It's junk. He could never sell it either. He wouldn't get twopence for it. Then there's a pause. Junk. But he doesn't seem to be interested in what I got in mind. That's the trouble. Why don't you have a chat with him, see if he's interested?
Me?
Yes, you're a friend of his.
He's no friend of mine.
You're living in the same room with him, aren't you?
He's no friend of mine. You don't know where you are with him. I mean, with a bloke like you know where you are. I mean, you got your own ways. I'm not saying you ain't got your own ways. Anyone can see that. You may have some funny ways, but that's the same with all of us. But with him, it's different. See, I mean, at least with you, the thing with you is you are straightforward.
Straightforward?
That's it. You are straightforward.
Yes.
But with him, you don't know what he's up to half the time.
Uh,
He's got no feelings. See, when I need what I need is a clock. I need a clock to tell the time. How can I tell the time without a clock? I can't do it. I said to him, I said, look here, what about getting in a clock so I can tell that what time it is. I mean, if you can't tell what time you're at, you're at, you don't know where you are. You understand my meaning? See, what I got to do now, if I'm walking about outside, I got to get my eye on the clock and keep the time in my head for when I come in. But there is no good. I mean, in here I'm not in here 5 minutes and I forgotten it. I forgotten what time it was. Look at it this way. If I don't feel well, I have a bit of a lay down. Then when I wake up, I don't know what time it is to go and have a cup of tea. You see, it's not so bad when I'm coming in. I can see the clock on the corner. The moment I'm stepping into the house, I know what the time is. But when I'm in, it's when I'm in that I haven't the foggiest idea what time it is. No, what I need is a clock in here, in this room, and then stand a bit of a chance, but he don't give me one. He wakes me up. He wakes me up in the middle of the night, tells me I'm making noises. I tell you, I have half a mind to give him a mouthful one of these days.
he don't let you sleep?
He don't let me sleep. He wakes me up.
That's terrible.
I've been plenty of other places. They always let me sleep. It's the same the whole world over, except here.
So, you see, this is his unthankful, ungrateful nature, Davy's nature that is being depicted, and the fact that he's changing sides. I mean, if I'm rescued by a person, I would be loyal to that person instead of getting loyal to anybody who comes my way who can offer me better space or spot. So he's that kind of manipulative kind of a character. Then Mick says, sleep's essential. I've always said that.
You're right, it's essential. I get up in the morning, I'm worn out. I got business to see to. I got to move myself, I got to sort myself out, I got to get fixed up. But when I wake up in the morning, I ain't got no energy in me. And on top of that, I ain't got no clock.
Yes.
He goes out, I don't know where he goes to. Where's he go to? He never tells me. We used to have a bit of a chat. Not anymore. I never see him. He goes out, he comes in late. Next thing I know, he's showing me in the middle of the night. Listen, I wake up in the morning and he's smiling at me. He's standing there looking at me smiling. I can see him, you see. I can see him through the blanket. He puts on his coat and turns himself around. He looks down at my bed and there's a smile on his face. What the hell he's smiling at? What he don't know is that I'm watching him through the blanket. He don't know I can see him. He thinks I'm asleep, but I got my eye on him all the time through the blanket. See, but he don't know that. He just looks at me and he smiles, but he don't know that I can see him doing it. No, what you want to do? To speak him. You want to. You want to speak to him. See, I got that worked out. You want to tell him that we got ideas for this. We could. We could. We could. You see, I
Okay,
could do. Could
आपकी
give you a
आवाज कहीं
hand.
चली गई है.
Uh, yes, ma'am.
The voice is providing some kind of distortion या break हो रही है.
Just a second, ma'am. Is it clear now, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
I was having some troubles with my headphones. Sorry about that. You see, I could decorate it for you. I could give you a hand in doing it. Between us, where do you live now then?
So इस पूरे dialogue से you can see that he's unthankful and he's uh, putting forward a step forward that I can decorate it for you and I can do this and I can do that. He's trying to sell himself. And the fact that in the previous act, in the final sentence by dialogue by Aston shared what went on with him, and Davies knows that, but even then he's so insensitive and he doesn't care what he went through. और वो उसका मजाक उसको mock ही कर रहा है. Mick says me, oh, I got a little place, not bad. Everything laid on. You must come up and have a drink sometime. Listen to some this whiskey.
No, you see, you're the bloke who wants to talk to him. I mean, you're his brother.
Yes, maybe I will. A door bangs, Mick rises, goes to the door and exits. Davies कहता है फिर.
Where are you going? This is him.
So Mick does not face Aston and he leaves because as Mick ने कहीं ना कहीं पहले ही smell कर लिया है. He understand this Davies character is not a nice character. So वो बार बार सीन से गायब हो जाता है. आता भी बहुत ही पुरस्कार तरीके से और चला भी जाता है. फिर एस्टन आता है and Aston enters. He's carrying a paper bag. He takes off his overcoat, opens the bag and takes out a pair of shoes. And then Aston says,
Pair of shoes.
What?
I picked them up, try them.
Shoes? What sort?
They might do you.
No, they're not right.
Are not they?
No, they don't fit.
Hmm.
Well, I tell you what, they might do until I get another pair. Where's the laces?
No laces.
I can't wear them without laces.
बेटे आप में से कौन ओपनली सुन रहा है विदाउट द हेडफोन्स दे हैव टू स्टॉप बिकॉज फिर आपकी आवाज एको कर रही है वापस आ रही है ना फिर वो डिस्टॉर्शन क्रिएट कर रहा है प्लीज वेयर अ हेडफोन एंड इफ यू डोंट हैव वन देन somebody else has to become Aston जब हम ओपन में सुनते हैं ना तो फिर जब आप अनम्यूट रहोगे तो वो हमें भी सुनाई देगा ना anybody else चले मैं ही बन जाती हूँ that's fine I just got these shoes
Well, now look, that puts the lid on it, don't it? I mean, you couldn't keep these shoes on right without a pair of laces. The only way to keep a pair of shoes on if you haven't got no laces is to tighten the foot. See? Walk about with a tight foot, see? Well, that's no good for the foot. Puts a bad strain on the foot. If you can do the shoes are proper, there's less chance of you getting a strain.
I might have some somewhere
You see what I'm getting at?
here's some
These are brown.
that's all I got
These shoes are black. Well, they can do anyway until I get another pair. Maybe they'll get me down to Sidcup tomorrow. If I get down there, I'll be able to sort myself out.
Okay,
After,
the rest of the dialogue है उसमें वो again don't know as these shoes will fit or not and he's talking about the weather, he's talking about the trouble he's gone through, he's talking about Sid Cub और वही बात वो बार बार कही जा रहा है और फिर किसी को गाली भी देता है somewhere Christ that bastard he ain't even listening to me उसके बाद Aston says कहता है hey stop it will you I can't sleep
what? What's going on here?
you're making noises
I'm an old man. What do you expect me to do? Stop breathing?
You're making noises.
What do you expect me to do? Stop breathing?
I'll get a bit of air. Aston is bothered because Aston has gone through such worse कि वो अब इस तरह से बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता तो डेविस आगे से कहता है
What do you expect me to do? I tell you, mate, I'm not surprised they took you in. Waking an old man up in the middle of the night, you must be off your nut. Giving me bad dreams, who's responsible then? For me having bad dreams? If you wouldn't keep mucking me about, I wouldn't make no noises. How do you expect me to sleep peaceful when you keep poking me all the time? What do you want me to do? Stop breathing? It's getting so freezing in here. I have to keep my trousers on to go to bed. I've never done that before in my life, but that's what I got to do here. Just because you won't put in any bleeding heating. I've had just about enough with you mucking me about. I've seen better days than you have, man. Nobody ever got me inside one of them places. Anyway, I am a sane man. You don't, so don't you start mucking me about. I'll be all right as long as you keep your place. Just you keep your place, that's all. Because I can tell you, your brother's got his eye on you. He knows all about you. I got a friend there. Don't you worry about that. I got a true pal there, treating me like dirt. What you invite me in here in the first place if you were if you was going to treat me like this? You think you're better than me, you got another thing coming. I know enough. They had you inside one of them places before. They can have you inside again. Your brother's got his eye on you. They can put the pincers on your head again, man. They can have them on again, anytime. All they got to do is get the word. They'd carry you in there, boy. They'd come here and pick you up and carry you in. They'd keep you fixed. They'd put them pincers on your head. They'd have you fixed. They'd take one look at all this junk I got to sleep with. They'd know you were a dreamer. That was the greatest mistake they made. You take my tip, letting you get out of that place. Nobody knows what you are at. You go out, you come in, nobody knows where you are at. Well, nobody messes me about for long. You think I'm going to do your dirty work? Ha, you better think again. You want me to do all the dirty work all up and down them stairs just so I can sleep in this lousy, filthy hole every night? Not me, boy. Not for you, boy. You don't know what you are doing half the time. You are up the creek. You're half off. You can tell it by looking at you. Whoever saw you slip me a few bob, treating me like a bloody animal. I never been inside a nut house.
you see how Davies has used the entire information that Aston shared with him against him, and he says, "Do you think I'm going to clean for you? You should have been kept in the same place. They should have fixed you better. You are this and that." So he's using that information to even bring in more disdain and disrespect to Aston as before. And that is so bad because somebody is helping you and this is how you repay. Then furthermore, he says, "Don't come nothing with me, mate. I got this here. I used it and I used it. Don't come it with me." So Aston is disturbed and he moves towards Davies, but Davies जो है वो defensive mode में चला जाता है. Then Aston says, "I think it's about time you found somewhere else. I don't think we are hitting it off." So Aston, being very sensible, he says that it's not a good time, and I think it's time that you leave because we are not hitting it off. And he has sensed the bad nature or problematic nature of Davies, and then Davies says,
Find somewhere else?
"Yes."
Me? You talking to me? Not me, man. You.
What?
You better find somewhere else.
Now look at Davies. He's saying that you're a moron, you're stupid, you should have been fixed, you're this and that, and you should find another place because I am here. Because he had a conversation with मिक मिक के साथ जो कॉन्वर्सेशन थी वो पैलेस बनाने में थी डेकोरेशन करने के लिए थी तो ही इज सॉर्टेड दैट मिक हु इज द witty brother will keep him and then Aston says I live here you don't.
Don't I? Well, I live here. I've been offered a job there.
Yes, well, I don't think you're a really suitable.
Not suitable. Well, I can tell you, there's someone. here thinks I am suitable, and I'll tell you, I'm staying on here as caretaker. Get it? Your brother, he's told me, see, he's told me the job is mine. So that's where I am. I'm going to be his caretaker.
My brother?
He's staying, he's going to run this place, and I'm staying with him.
Look, if I give you a few bob, you can get down to Sidcup.
You build your shed first, a few bob. When I can earn a steady wage here, you build your stinking shed first. That's what.
Now, Davies, because he had a conversation with Mick where Mick says that Aston is very lousy and very lazy and he's not able to make the shed properly and he's this and that. So he's saying, I am not the lousy one, it's the you. You have to make the shed first. As if Davies कह रहा है कि मुझे पैसे दे के तुम भगाना चाहते हो तुम अपना काम तो पहले कर लो फिर Aston stares at him. Now Aston has a moment of realization that this is not the man he thought he was, and then there is a silence. Then Aston says, that's not stinking shed. Aston moves to him because Aston is offended because Aston has a simpler mind because he's gone through much worse. So he says it's clean, it's all good wood. I'll get it up, no trouble.
Don't come too near.
You have no reason to call that shit stinking. Davies points the knife. You stink.
What?
You have been stinking the place out.
Christ, you said that to me?
For days, that is one reason I can't sleep.
You called me that? You called me stinking?
You better go.
I'll stink you.
He thrusts his arm out and arm trembling, the knife pointing at Aston's stomach. Aston does not move. Silence. Davy's arm moves no further. They stand. I'll sting you. It's almost the same जैसे हमारे पास वेटिंग फॉर गॉडो में था ना दे डू नॉट मूव दोनों एक दूसरे से कहते हैं लेट्स मूव लेट्स गो और वो कभी मूव नहीं करते तो ये एक्शन भी कभी कंप्लीट नहीं होता दैट इज द stillness and static nature of avant-garde play as well. Then Aston says, get your stuff. Davies draws his knife into his chest. Breathing heavily, Aston goes to Davy's bed, collects his bag, and puts a few of Davy's things into it. And Davy says,
You ain't got the right. Leave that alone. That's mine.
Davies takes the bag and presses the contents down.
All right. I've been offered a job here. You wait. He puts on his smoking jacket. You wait. Your brother, he'll sort you out. You call me that? You call me that? No one's ever called me that. You'll be sorry you called me that. You ain't heard the last of this. You'll be sorry you called me that. Now I know who I can trust.
Now, you see, now the stinking does not only reflect the physical stinging or the badoo that is coming from the Davies. It's almost as if his character has been unraveled, unfolded, or revealed for its true nature. So he's like, "How dare you call me out for what I am?" Because he's stinking, and Aston was being nice to him, and he never pointed it out. But the fact that Davies is so ungrateful that Davies said that Aston says the reason he cannot sleep is the smell that is coming from his way. So Davies says that now I know who I can trust. So he's taking the other brother's side. So he's trying to pitch these two brothers against each other. Davies goes out. Aston stands. Blackout lights up. Early evening. Voices on the stairs. Mick and Davies enter. Now Mick and Davies they enter again because Davies went to Mick in order to um, uh, you know. Backbite about Aston that Aston did this and you have hired me and I'm going to be here. Then Davy says,
Stink, you hear that? Me. I told you what he said, didn't I? Stink, you hear that? That's what he said to me.
"Ch- ch-
That's what he said to me.
you don't stink.
No, sir.
If you stank, I would be the first one to tell you."
I said to him, you ain't heard the loss of this man. I said, don't you forget your brother. I told him you'd be coming along to sort him out. He don't know what he started doing that. Doing that to me. I said to him, he'll be along. Your brother, your brother will be along. He's got sense, not like you.
So you see, he's comparing two brothers. पहले वो डेविस से कतराता था कि I don't know you, I won't trust you, give me my trousers back and etc. Now Aston, where he has realized, Aston को एक realization हो गया कि Davies is not the man he thought he was, so he wants him gone. So now he's going back to Mick and he's saying that you are a superior brother and you can do this and you can do that. Then Mick says, what do you mean?
Eh?
You saying my brother hasn't got any sense?
What I'm saying is, you got ideas for this place, all this decorating. See, I mean, he's got no right to order me about. I take orders from you. I do my caretaking for you. I mean, you look upon me. You don't treat me like a lump of dirt. We can both see him for what he is.
So he's saying that let's be allies और हम align हो जाते हैं and let's go against Aston. वो इस तरह से क्यों कह रहा है? क्योंकि Aston के बारे में मिक ने डेविस से शेयर किया था that he's lousy. So he's trying to use that information. He's trying to manipulate Mick into believing that what he's saying is the truth and he should be one with him. Then Mick says, "What did he say then when you told him I had offered you a job as caretaker?"
He said something about he lived here.
Yes, he's got a point, doesn't he?
A point. This is your house, ain't it? You let him lived here.
I could tell him to go, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I could tell him to go. I mean, I'm the landlord. On the other hand, he's the sitting tenant. Giving him notice, you see what it is. It is a technical matter. That is what it is. It depends how you regard this room. I mean, it depends whether you regard this room as furnished or unfurnished. See what I mean?
No, I don't.
All this furniture you see in here, it is all his, except the beds, of course. So what it is, it's a fine legal point. That's what it is.
I tell you, he should go back where he come from.
Come from?
Yes.
Where did he come from?
Well, he
Now, because डेविस को पता है कि वो एक असाइलम से या एक हॉस्पिटल से आया है और उसको कुछ शॉक लगा था, मिक को नहीं पता कि डेविस को ये बात पता है, तो मिक आगे से कहता है, "You get a bit out of your depth sometimes, don't you?" Then there is a pause, rising briskly. "Well, anyway, as things stand, I don't mind having to go at doing up the place."
that's what I wanted to hear.
"No, I don't mind." He turns to face Davies. "But you better be as good as you say you are."
What do you mean?
"Well, say you are an interior decorator, you should better be a good one."
A what?
"What do you mean, a what? A decorator, an interior decorator."
Me? What do you mean? I never touched that. I never been that.
"You have never what?"
No, no, not me, man. I'm not an interior decorator. I've been too busy, too many other things to do, you see, but I could always turn my hand to most things. Give me a bit of time to pick it up.
तो डेविस बीइंग डेविस केयर टेकर भी बना रहे थे तो नहीं बन रहा था, कोई भी काम करके ये राजी नहीं है बंदा। फिर मैं कहता है, "आई डोंट वांट यू टू पिक इट अप, आई वांट अ फर्स्ट क्लास experienced interior decorator. I thought you were one."
Me? Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. You got the wrong man.
"How could I have the wrong man? You're the only man I've spoken to. You're the only man I've told about my dreams, about my deepest wishes. You're the only one I've told. And I only told you because I understood you were an experienced first class professional interior and exterior decorator."
Now look here.
"You mean you wouldn't know how to fit teal blue, copper, and perchant luminous squares and have those color re-echoed in the walls?
Now look here. Where did you get that?
You wouldn't be able to decorate out a table in Emphremisia tweak veneer, an armchair oatmeal tweed, and a beach frame city with that woven sea grass seat?"
I never said that.
Christ, I must have been under a false impression.
I never said it.
You're a bloody imposter, mate.
Now you don't want to say that sort of thing to me. You took me on here as caretaker. I was going to give you a helping hand. That's all. For a small wage. I never said anything about that. You start calling me names.
What is your name?
Don't start that.
Now, what is your real name?
My real name's Davies.
What is the name you go under?
Jenkins.
You got two names. What about the rest, eh? Now, come on. Why did you tell me all this dirt about you being an interior decorator?
I didn't tell you nothing. Won't you listen to what I'm saying? It was him who told you. It was your brother who must have told you. He's nutty. He'd tell you anything out of spite. He's nutty. He's halfway gone. It was him who told you.
So you see, he's using अब उसको नहीं पता कि उनके बीच में क्या बात होती रहती है, तो इस सेइंग कि ब्रदर ने बताया होगा, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया। तो डेविस इज ए चैटरी काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन, जो ज्यादा बोल जाता है, जो उसे नहीं भी आता। इसने बोला है दैट आई कैन डेकोरेट इट फॉर यू एंड आई कैन डू दिस एंड दैट फॉर यू। मिक वॉक्स स्लोली टू हिम। मिक सेज, व्हाट डिड यू कॉल माय ब्रदर?
When
ही इज व्हाट?
I now get this straight.
Nutty? Who's nutty? Did you call my brother nutty? My brother? That's a bit of an impertinent thing to say, isn't it?
But he says so himself.
Mick walks slowly round Davies, figuring regarding him once. He circles him once. Mick, what a strange man you are, aren't you? You are really strange. Ever since you come into this house, there's been nothing but trouble. Honest, I can take nothing you say at face value. Every word you speak is open to any number of different interpretations. Most of what you say is lies. You are violent, you're erratic, you're just completely unpredictable. You're nothing else but a wild animal. When you come down to it, you are a barbarian. And to put the old tin lid on it, you stink from asshole to breakfast time. Look at it. You come here recommending yourself as an interior decorator, whereupon I take you on, and what happens? You make a long speech about all the references you've got down at Sidcup, and what happens? I haven't noticed you go down to Sidcup to obtain them. It's all most regrettable, but it looks as though I am compelled to pay you off for your caretaking work. Here's a half a dollar. He feels in his pocket, takes out a half crown, and tosses it at Davy's feet. Davy stands still. Mick walks to the gas stove and picks up the Buddha. Davy says,
All right then. You do that. You do it. If that's what you want.
"That's what I want." He hurls the Buddha against the gas stove. It breaks. Passionately, anyone would think this house was all I got to worry about. I got plenty of other things I can worry about. I've got other things. I've got plenty of other interests. I've got my own business to build up, haven't I? I've got to think about expanding in all directions. I don't stand still. I'm moving about all the time. I'm moving all the time. I'm still moving about all the time. I'm moving all the time. I've got to think about the future. I'm not worried about this house. I'm not interested. My brother can worry about it. He can do it up. He can decorate it. He can do what he likes with it. I'm not bothered. I thought I was doing him a favor letting him live here. He's got his own ideas. Let him have them. I'm going to chuck it in.
What about you?
अब ये जो लाइन है ना, डेविस बार बार कहता है व्हाट अबाउट मी, दिस शोज दैट ही हैज अ फियर ऑफ एलियनेशन, बीइंग secluded or marginalized. He wants connection, but because he has been always in a survival mode on the street, he doesn't know how to ask for it. Then there is a silence. Mick does not look at him. A door bangs. Silence. They do not move. You see, कैसे ये same line हमारे पास उधर भी थी, waiting for Godot maybe. Aston comes in, he closes the door, moves into the room and faces Mix. They look at each other, both are smiling faintly. ये पहले भी हो चुका है. They only look at each other और एक faint सी smile pass करते हैं, eye glimpses pass करते हैं और चले जाते हैं. Then Mick, beginning to speak to Aston, look. He stops, goes to the door and exits. Again वही बात है कि Mick left. Aston leaves the door open, crosses behind Davy, sees the broken Buddha, and looks at the piece for a moment. Then he goes to his bed, takes off his overcoat, sits, takes the screwdriver and plugs and pokes the plug. Davies.
I just come back for my pipe.
Oh, yes.
I got out and halfway down I suddenly found out, you see, that I had got my pipe. So I come back to get it. That ain't the same plug, is it? You been? Still can't get anywhere with it, eh? Well, if you persevere, in my opinion, you'll probably listen. You didn't mean that, did you? About me stinking, did you? Did you? You've been a good friend to me. You took me in, you took me in. You didn't ask me no questions. You gave me a bed. You've been a bed to me. Listen, I've been thinking why I made all them noises. It was because of a drought. See, the drought was on me as I was sleeping, made me make noises without me uh,
So,
knowing it. So I've been thinking what I mean to say. If you was to give me your bed and you have my bed. There's not all that difference between them. There's the same sort of bed. If I was to have you sleep wherever bed you're in. So you have mine, I have yours, and that'll be all right. I'll be out of the drought. See, I mean, you don't mind a bit of wind, you need a bit of air. I can understand that. You being in that place that time with all them doctors and all they done closed up. I know them place is too hot. You see, they're always too hot. I had a peep in one once nearly suffocated me. So I reckon that'd be the best way out of it. You swap beds and then we could get to what we was saying. I'd look after the place for you. I'd keep an eye on it for you, like not for the other, not for your brother. You see, not for him, for you. I'll be your man. You say the word, just say the word. What do you think of this I'm saying?
So he's been caught and he is again using it in his फेवर कि अब मैं तुम्हारा ही दोस्त हूँ मिक तो चला गया ना तो वो कह रहा है अब मैं तुम्हारा दोस्त हूँ and I didn't mean it and I have been again victim card nearly suffocated me and all and then Aston says no I like sleeping in this bed
But you don't understand my meaning.
anyway that one's my brother's bed
Your brother?
anytime he stays here this is my bed it is the only bed I can sleep in
But your brother's gone. He's gone.
no I couldn't change beds
But you don't understand my meaning.
anyway I'm going to be busy I've got the shed to get up if I don't get it up now it will never go up until it's up and I can't get started
I'll give you a hand to put up your shed. That's what I'll do.
I'll give okay ये दोबारा से
I'll
repeat कर रहा है
I'll give you a hand. We'll both put it up that shed together. See? Get it done in next to no time. Do you see what I'm saying?
no I can get it up myself
But listen, I'm with you. I'll be here. I'll do it for you. We'll do it together. Christ will change beds.
Aston
You
moves
mean
Aston moves to the window and stands with his back to Davies
you're throwing me out? You can't do that. Listen, man. I don't mind. You see, I don't mind. I'll stay. I don't mind. I'll tell you what. If you don't want to change beds, we'll keep it as it is. I'll stay in the same bed. Maybe if I can get a stronger piece of sacking, like to go over the window, keep out the draught, that'll do it. What do you say? We'll keep it as it is.
no
Why not?
you make too much noise
But look, listen here. I mean, what I'm going to do. What shall I do?
so now he's almost begging for him to stay there जब वो इतना अच्छा था तो तब डेवीज ऊपर से पढ़ रहा था और अब he knows कि Aston has understood तो he's saying what am I going to do where am I going to go if you want me to go I'll go you just say the word he still ये जो pauses है ना ये इस तरह से कि अभी भी उसे कहीं ना कहीं hope है कि शायद Aston उसे रोक ले I'll tell you what though, them shoes you gave me, they are working out all right. They are all right. Maybe I could get down. Aston remains still, his back to him at the window. So वो जो connection Aston ने build करने की कोशिश की थी, वो अब टूट चुका है and he doesn't want to look back. Listen, if I got down, if I was to get my papers, would you if I got down and यहाँ पर there is a long silence कि इतनी बार उसने उसको chances दिए Davies को to prove himself, but Davies always proved himself to be somebody who's not trustworthy, who's not worthy enough to put trust in. तो ये सारी बात आपकी यहाँ पर टेक्स्ट में खत्म हो जाती है अच्छा ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप इस टेक्स्ट में बहुत सारी लाइंस हैं जैसे बहुत सारी रिपीटेटिव लाइंस हैं यहाँ पर हमारे पास ये भी है कि यू मेक टू मच नॉइज यू आर मेकिंग नॉइजेस सो इसका जब आप एनालिसिस लिखते हो ना तो इन दैट एनालिसिस यू आर सपोज टू गो अबाउट एवरीथिंग पूरा यानी एक्ट 2 से लेके एक्ट 3 तक बार बार वो जब रिपीट करता है तो उस सारी बात का एनालिसिस आप लिख सकते हैं सो यहाँ हमारे पास टेक्स्ट तो खत्म हो गया बेटे और कल क्विज के बाद विल टॉक अबाउट some important articles that I found about this प्ले उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, जैसे हमारे पास है वर्बल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ एग्जिस्टेंशियल इश्यूज इन द केयर टेकर है, उसके बाद एक और भी है, दिस इज डिफिकल्ट, yes, traces of guilt, identity, security and existence. This is a very good read about it. इसमें हम इसकी बात करेंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा कि कैसे guilt is there and lack of identity is there and how psychological perspectives are there and why the system and the people in the caretaker they have these issues that they represent. तो इसका analysis हम पढ़ेंगे. Okay, any questions बेटे? जी वरीशा बताएं बेटे.
Ma'am, if you are going to take a quiz na tomorrow,
हम्म.
ma'am, then you have added so many topics. That's why we are asking to cancel. Now there are so many topics. Each and everything is cleared from waiting for Godot, whether it's existential crisis or absurd theater or themes, characteristics, RTC, and these are things literally mixing up so much. There is also a doll's house as a Marxist play, themes of the play, characters, and RTC from that.
ये तो मुश्किल तो नहीं बेटे, आप हमारे पूरे कोर्स में है ही क्या, व्हाट डू वी हैव, इसके अलावा हमने बात ही क्या की है. आपको पता है ना कोर्सेज कितने लेंथी होते हैं और कितने डीप एनालिसिस किए जाते हैं उसके, मैंने तो किया ही
Yes,
नहीं.
ma'am. I can understand.
आई केप्ट इट सो सुपरफिशियल. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड तो मैंने तो आपको बच्चों की तरह मतलब एक हैंड आउट से ही पढ़ाया है ना, तो आई एक्सपेक्ट कि अगर हम क्लास में इतना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ समझ आई भी होगी.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके चले, मैं आपका वो बनाऊंगी, उसे क्या कहते हैं. हाँ जी, कौन बात करना चाह रहा है और बताएं. हु रेज द हैंड, गो अहेड.
मैम अकॉर्डिंग टू रिगार्डिंग द क्विज, इट्स जस्ट लाइक के बात सिर्फ ये है कि ये हमारे क्योंकि एंडिंग के चल रहा टाइम, तो बाकी सारा कुछ भी जो है ना, काफी सारी प्रेजेंटेशन वगैरह और भी हो रही हैं, तो ये जो क्विज वगैरह के जो डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स वगैरह है ना, तो ये काफी सारा जम्बल्ड अप हो रहा है इस वजह से. और कोई इशू नहीं है, मतलब हम आपने काफी अच्छे तरीके से आपने ना एक किस्म की स्पून फीडिंग ही की है. लेकिन यहाँ पर इस टाइम पर आके ना आगे बाकी भी सब चीजों अगर हम लोग देखें ना, तो उस वजह से काफी चीजें जम्बल्ड अप हो रही हैं, जिस वजह से हम लोग चाह रहे थे कि
तो
मतलब अगर थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो जाए या कुछ फर्क इसमें आ सके तो.
see, this quiz was also important, but it's okay if you guys don't want to give the quiz. I can't force you. I just wanted to give you more chances to get more scores, but I can finalize your scores. जो फिर आपने जो भी credit task दिए मैं उन्हीं से उनका weightage निकाल लेती हूँ. I don't mind. So there will be no quiz tomorrow. We'll talk about this article, Traces of Guilt, आइडेंटिटी, सिक्योरिटी एंड एग्जिस्टेंस. तो ये आप बेशक फोन में ले आए या प्रिंट ले आए, तो इस पे बाद में डिस्कशन कर लेंगे. ठीक है बेटे, और कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो बताएं.
No, ma'am. Thank you
हाँ
so
मैम, थैंक यू
much.
सो मच.
ओके देन, अल्लाह हाफिज, टेक केयर.
I love you, ma'am.
अल्लाह हाफिज मैम.